Russia's supply link in Kursk has been effectively destroyed. Ukrainian Special Operations Forces struck a logistics hub used by the 810th Separate Marine Brigade, igniting massive explosions that reduced ammunition stores and military vehicles to burning wreckage, and delivered a crippling blow to what Russia had considered an untouchable rear area brigade. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Please subscribe and like my videos. On the night of 17-18 September, Ukrainian Special Operations Forces reported a targeted strike on a logistics hub in Kursk Oblast used by Russia's 810th Separate Marine Brigade. The Ukrainian SSO released a short drone video showing a chain of explosions across a cluster of buildings and open storage areas, followed by fires and black smoke. According to multiple reporting outlets, the SSO said the strike hit a material storage base, ammunition depots, and concealed storage for the brigade's weapons and equipment. Eyewitness footage and open-source video show at least a dozen separate secondary detonations, the characteristic signature of munitions cooking off after an initial hit and burning vehicles and containers scattered across a logistics yard. Local and Ukrainian outlets put the timing on the night of September 18. Russian local channels noted sudden fires and the mobilization of emergency services in the area. The target was logistics for the 810th Separate Marine Brigade, a formation that has been deployed in various fronts and that Russia has relied upon for both frontline rotations and rear support. Destroying or degrading a brigade supply hub has outsized effects. Losing ammunition dumps and vehicles forces units to pause operations, reroute supplies hundreds of kilometers, and exposes gaps that the opposing side can exploit. The SSO claim that ammunition depots and equipment stores were hit suggests an attempt not just to kill troops, but to sever the brigade's ability to fight for weeks to come. Open reporting and the SSO-owned material point to an unmanned aerial system or a combination of loitering and guided drones as the method of attack. The night footage showing multiple localized explosions and precise hits on buildings and open stacks fits the profile of small, accurate loitering munitions and strike drones rather than large ballistic missile salvos. Ukrainian special operations and drone units have increasingly used swarms of small strike drones and FPV systems to find and hit rear facilities that satellite surveillance alone can't reliably target at night. Why drones? Because they offer precision, low cost, and plausible deniability for clandestine SSO actions deep into enemy rear areas. When a logistics hub relies on dispersed storage and camouflage, layered drone attacks that time secondary explosions can inflict outsized damage while minimizing the exposure of assault units. The released drone video shows multiple clusters of explosions under a soundtrack, followed by thick black smoke, rolling flames and burning pallets, with at least a dozen burnt or burning vehicles in the yard. Secondary detonations, rapid consecutive blasts after the initial strike, indicate the presence of stored ammunition and munitions that ignited. Several local videos show a long column of fire and emergency services arranging perimeter control, suggesting a major depot blaze that took time and resources to put out. From a forensics perspective, the distribution and timing of explosions imply multiple simultaneous aim points, either a coordinated swarm of drones attacking many targets at once or precision strikes on key points such as magazines, fuel, and vehicle clusters that then triggered sympathetic detonations across the depot. Open sources confirm destruction of ammunition stockpiles and vehicles. However, claims about personnel casualties are typically contested in this conflict and vary by source. The Ukrainian SSO aim was clearly to destroy material rather than to maximize troop casualties. Sabotaging logistics degrades the brigade's operational readiness for weeks or months. Russian local reports highlighted fires and damage, while Ukrainian reports emphasized the loss of arms and ammunition. Official tallies of destroyed equipment will likely differ between Kiev and Moscow for propaganda reasons, so independent verification is limited right now. Logistics is the nervous system of any front. When you cut supply ammunition, fuel, spare parts, and heavy weapons, you force the opponent into either withdrawing, freezing operations, or exposing supply lines to further interdiction. The 810th Brigade was reportedly placed in a rear logistics role. Losing its supply hub means reduced availability of ammunition and replacement equipment for front units relying on that pipeline. In practical terms, even if frontline formations aren't immediately routed, their tempo and firepower will suffer, giving Ukraine breathing room to press or consolidate gains elsewhere. There is a psychological dimension as well. Rear areas that were once considered safe depots, assembly areas, and logistic hubs being vulnerable undermines morale and trust in rear security. If a brigade branded as untouchable or hardened suddenly finds its supplies incinerated, that becomes a talking point on both sides. Kiev to show reach and effectiveness, Moscow to deflect and counter, accuse. Video evidence amplifies the effect. The SSO short visual release serves both battlefield utility, confirming a successful strike, and strategic messaging. Russia has several predictable responses: move supplies further back, harden or disperse depots, increase air defenses in ostensibly quiet rear zones, and step up counter, drone and patrol operations. Each reactive step has costs. Moving supplies farther increases logistics strain, dispersing storage complicates retrieval and inventory, and beefing up rear air defenses diverts resources from front lines. We may also see punitive strikes or new clampdowns on cross-border civilian movement and local press restrictions in the region to control narratives. In the immediate weeks after such a strike, expect localized reductions in artillery rates and shortages of specific calibers if the destroyed depot contained specialized rounds. Commanders will be forced to reprioritize ammunition for the most critical sectors, delaying or scaling back offensives. Conversely, Ukraine can exploit temporary windows to push at stressed sectors or conduct new interdiction operations while Russian logistics are rerouted. The logistical shock is not a knockout blow by itself, but it compounds existing pressures and can shape operations for months. This strike fits into a broader Ukrainian approach, targeting supply, command and control, and rear infrastructure, not only front lines, to squeeze the Russian war machine. Over the past year, there have been repeated Ukrainian strikes on depots, rail nodes, and drone launch areas inside Russian border regions. Hitting Kursk depots shows an escalation in operational reach and the growing tactical sophistication of US and SOF teams. This is not a one-off, it's a pattern of focusing on systemic vulnerabilities rather than just battlefield trophies. Two important caveats apply. First, fog of war. Claims from both sides are partisan, and independent on-the-ground verification is hard in active conflict zones. Second, tactical damage doesn't always translate into strategic collapse. Military organizations can absorb losses by shifting inventories, calling reserves, or buying time via defensive measures. That said, logistics hits accumulate. A single strike is more dangerous when it compounds other supply disruptions. Use the released SSO footage and corroborated reporting from Interfax NV, Kiev Post, and Pravda as the best currently available evidence, while expecting more detailed assessments to appear in coming days. Indicators to watch next include official Russian damage assessments or denials, movements of artillery and ammunition convoys in adjacent regions, any sudden reductions in artillery fire intensity on nearby front sectors, and revealed countermeasures such as increased radar or air defense. Deployments, new fortress, style storage, or tougher rail and road security. Each of these indicators will reveal how serious Moscow perceives the hit to be. For viewers trying to understand how modern war is fought, logistics matter more than heroics or single battles. Precision drones combined with special operations are turning supply depots into legitimate and vulnerable military targets. That changes the calculus of warfare. Reach and intelligence matter as much as brute force. A hit on Kursk's supply link won't by itself decide the war, but it shows the increasing fragility of rear logistics in protracted conflicts, and the leverage precision strikes provide to an outgunned but innovative defender. If you found this breakdown useful, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell. I'll keep monitoring open reporting and OSINT for verified updates. Drop your questions below. Do you think Russia can fully harden its rear logistics, or will Kiev keep finding ways to reach them? Share your thoughts.